Hello. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. Chinese here. So, I watched Gone with the Wind, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. Between 10 days and 2 weeks ago, because Hattie McDaniel came to my consciousness, and I always heard about Hattie McDaniel and how she portrayed the Mammy character in Gone with the Wind. And I was like, I want to watch Gone with the Wind as an adult. I'm sure as a child I saw it, bits and pieces here and there. But I was like, I want to watch it now as an adult, as an actress and filmmaker, and really look at Hattie McDaniels or experience Hattie McDaniels acting, storytelling, interpretation of this character in Gone with the Wind, which was released in 1939. Hattie McDaniel, according to my research, was born June 10th, 1895 in Wichita, Kansas. She died in October of 1952 in Hollywood, California. She was married 3 times. I believe, according to my research, she had no children. I think so. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. Um, but I made a choice to experience her acting, her storytelling, and I was very engaged. I was moved. She brought dignity and dimension and fullness of humanity to a character that was written on a page that probably on the page was not as did not have fullness of dignity that she as an actress, as an interpreter, brought to the character. And I always, as I was watching it, I just became engulfed in what her character wanted, how she went about getting it, how she communicated herself to the other characters in the film. And let me just backtrack. One thing that led me to wanting to watch the film was one of the principal things is I was watching, every time I would watch a clip on YouTube of her Academy Award acceptance speech in 1940, it always makes me cry because she made a statement. One of the statements she made in her acceptance speech was, I hope that I can be a credit to my race. And it made me cry, or makes me cry, is because you don't have to, we don't need credit. Because she was clearly speaking to an audience of mostly Caucasian people, probably 99% Caucasian people. And it's you can take that two ways, but initially I would take it as like she felt the need to say she hoped that she was a credit to her race, or she could be a credit to her race. And I'm like, we don't need credit. Those who have enslaved us and exploited us and discriminated against us, they actually need credit. They need credit in the streets of the black community. But anyway, that's just me being personal. That's China 2020. That's contemporary China. So, but I understand what I believe she was suggesting was, I hope that my interpretation, my work, my artistic work makes the black community proud. And when I looked at it in totality, her performance in totality, I was proud being a fellow actress. I was proud of being able to walk in her footsteps, to stand on her shoulders as an actress. There were many American black actresses um, um, that came before Hattie McDaniel who acted in Oscar Michaud films, and I'm sure other black-centered written films during that time. But she was the first um, prominent actress to have that kind of role in a Hollywood produced film. And I, I remember as I was watching it, I thought about Lorraine Hansberry's Raisin in the Sun play and then adapted television and film of her play. And Lorraine Hansberry in an interview stated that her motivation for writing A Raisin in the Sun was to display the dignity of American black people. A particular American black person on the south side of Chicago, but nonetheless, the dignity of American black people in her narrative, A Raisin in the Sun. And I thought about Hattie McDaniel, how she brought dignity to the character who was probably oversimplified on the page. And I respect the work she chose to do, the interpretation she chose to convey with the character she was given. And I thought about it today. I'm like why didn't I respect or celebrate her artistic contribution as an actress, comedian, singer, songwriter, dancer? Why didn't I? And I think, if I'm honest, I didn't celebrate it because I used to hear I would hear negative commentary about the kind of character she played, Mammy. The fact that she played an enslaved person, because Gone with the Wind took place during the Civil War or right before it. So clearly she was an enslaved person working in the house. If you watch the film, the opening credits, they gave her, categorized her character as a house servant, or not her. I'm sorry, her character name was Mammy in the opening credits, but the other characters who played enslaved people in the film, they were classified as, given the categorization of house servants, when we know they were in fact enslaved, because it wasn't post-civil rights, and this took place in the South. But getting back to Hattie McDaniel, so her performance, the first time you see her, she's like this powerhouse, and she was always given advice and wisdom to the Scarlett O'Hara principal character, played by Vivian Lee, who's out of the UK. But she was feisty and sassy, grounded. She would say things that one would be thinking. But then there were times where she had to fall back because she could be fired, or she could be, let's be honest, she could possibly be whipped as a result of maybe the way in which she spoke to Scarlett O'Hara or the other people, the other Caucasians. So there was a tightrope she had to walk portraying that character while trying to convey dignity in that environment. And there was a moment where she was funny. There was a moment where she was troubled by one of the principal characters because he was going through something. He was distressed about something, and she became emotional, and I became emotional. So she connected so honestly with that emotion that it impacted me, and I had an echo emotional reaction to her artistic work. So I feel a little bad because I haven't really researched her body of work. I saw a clip today on YouTube of a scene she did with James Cagney, I think it's James Cagney. And she was, again, wonderfully humorous, grounded, brought balance to the character. And I'm going to pick up the mantle and continue to research her body of work and continue to celebrate her acting abilities and bringing dignity to characters that are probably not dignified on the page, on the script. So, I'm going to research Butterfly McQueen because, again, I stand on her shoulders, along with the actresses before her who were in Oscar Michaud films and other films and other Hollywood films. I stand on their shoulder. They paved the way for me through the sand, through the soil. I walk in their footsteps, and I don't ever want to become so highfalutin and arrogant and dismissive of their contributions as actors and as American black actors, knowing they had the weight of make sure you make us proud, or maybe even if it was self-imposed or they felt it, make sure you do us proud in these. And then people criticizing her for portraying maids continuously in her body of work. I think that was a statement she said that I'd rather play a maid earning $700 as opposed to being an actual maid in real life and earning only $7. So she was thinking about the economics of it, and like wanting to make a living as an actress, as a working actress in Hollywood. And I'm sure, I'm thinking maybe she was torn sometime in some of the characters she continually had to play. Because honestly, I don't have an issue with a black person. And again, I'm 2020. All right, I'm the beneficiary of what she and many others have done, so I have options. But I don't, for me, my favorite movie is Claudine, for those who know me. I'm sorry for always saying that. I don't have an issue with one playing a maid, right? As long as the maid is fully realized on the page, her full humanity is realized on the page, and then she has a life outside of being a maid. It's not about her being a maid, but about her humanity and how she interacts with her children, her husband if she has one, her boyfriend, the people in her community. It's the totality of her, and not so much what she does, but who she is. So that's my little rant, but I just want to say respect to Hattie McDaniel for being one of many actresses who have paved the way for me to have the options of acting in either Hollywood Productions or independent. All right, take care, peace. Chinese.